Squad, it's Quads, and welcome back to another new video. Today we are looking at the new 2306 Mark II 5-inch FPV motors. Now we'll start with a quick install of what we're going to do, an explanation of what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. I'll show quickly how we install the motors. Dead easy. There's 4 screws for anybody that doesn't know. I'm sure you all do by now, but I do always like to keep this channel as newbie friendly as possible. So it is literally a case of 4 screws, screw them in as tightly as you can without over tightening them, threading them, make sure they're gripping lovely, and away you go. Simple as that. Then you've got your wires. You need to cut your wires to size, and we'll then look at soldering them in, and etc. in a second. But I just want to start the video by getting the elephant in the room out of the way. Meps did send these motors to me for free. They are newly released today. I've been flying them for just over a week now, so I can make a genuine and honest opinion on them. Meps won't see this video before it goes out. They've not paid me for this review. Anything that I say in here is on my shoulders completely. Nobody's told me to say anything, and that's it really. So we've put them all together, and obviously we've trimmed our wires, so we're ready now for the next phase, if you like, of the install, and that is the soldering. What I'd recommend, again, I know that the majority of us know this, and if you are an experienced pilot and an experienced builder, then I apologise for going over this, but I do like to make this channel as newbie friendly as I possibly can. So for any newbies out there that don't know, these soldering irons go up to 480 degrees. If you have a soldering iron that doesn't go up as high as 480 degrees, you can get away with about 400, but I'd recommend investing in a new one. Put your soldering iron up as high as it will go, ideally to 480 degrees, and that will make the job of soldering the wires onto the ESC so much quicker, easier and safer, because it's not the heat that will strip your pads, it's leaving the heat on for too long that will strip your pads. Now I do make a bit of a mess of one of these motors because I'm trying to do it in a way that I've never done it in my life before for a camera. So I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way, my head out of the way, my fingers out of the way as much as possible, and I'm just trying to show you as much as I possibly can. It's a bit difficult, but I do my best. If you've never soldered a motor on before, the motor wires, or if you've never put an FPV drone together before, the motors and the motor wires you'll find are probably the hard part. The best way to do it is to pre-tin your wires and pre-tin your ESC, and by that what we mean is put some solder down on the pads, put some solder down on the wires, nice and high as 480 degrees if you can, and you then melt the solder on the pad so it's molten, and you slide the wire into that molten solder, which will then melt the solder that's on the end of the wire. And it's as easy as that. You can be in and out within a second. And I've stripped pads in the past myself. When I was a newbie, I really struggled with this because I had a soldering iron that went up to about 300 degrees. And I know the Americans are going to get very angry with me for saying solder instead of solder, but this is just how we roll on Squadding Quads. So heat in, away you go, get it away as quick as you possibly can. The worst thing you can do is use a soldering iron that's about 300 degrees, and you sit there heating the pad up for like 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. You'll strip the pad, and I know this from experience because I've done it myself. Once we've got all 4 motors soldered up and away you go. This is my test rig, by the way. So this is an old diatone roamer. We've got the AKK VTX on it. We've got a custom airbrushed frame that I did a few years ago. Cadex Ratel 2 and a ELRS Gemini from Beta FPV. So we use this basically when we're testing any new parts, so that we've got a baseline tune to put the parts on, to know where we're going from, and to see actually how they do perform. Obviously, once we've done the soldering of the motors, we then install the props. And what I do love about these props, and what I do love about the Meps motors in general, is just how bright and colourful they are. $9. Will they hold up in a bando if you crash a 5-inch with a GoPro at full speed in a bando? No, of course they won't. But will a $40 motor? I mean, it might hold up a bit better, but ultimately you're going to damage it. If you smash full speed into a bando with a 5-inch, you are going to damage your motors. Now, where I really like the philosophy of this is for $10, you can buy essentially the equivalent of 5 of these cheap $10 motors instead of just one $50 motor. which ultimately is going to get damaged in a bando. Yes, it will probably hold up better, but personally, and this is how I've always been with an FPV, personally, I'll choose a cheaper product if I know that I'm going to crash it, because then I can afford to buy spares, because I'm not somebody who's rich. You know, I don't come from privilege. I've had to work and fight everything in my life, and that's not to tell you to feel sorry for me, but I will always go for the cheaper option if I know I'm going to damage something, so that I can afford the replacements. Can I afford to buy 4 $50 motors and then a spare? I can't. No, it's simple as that. Simple as that. So I do love this philosophy, and I do think it will help more newbie pilots as well, who will potentially crash them. Now, I have crashed these only on grass. Annoyingly, I can't show you the crash because I only had the GoPro on at the time and it disconnected. So obviously the power was disconnected at the time of the crash. And like an idiot, I didn't have an SD card in my goggles recording DVR, which is really frustrating and really annoying. Now, it was only a crash into a tree and then into grass. It wasn't a hard crash into anything else. But there's no damage and we carried on flying. The actual crash happened at the very start of all the testing. Like I say, I changed nothing afterwards. Not a prop or anything. Now, that does suggest it's not a particularly bad crash, but I think the motor probably took the brunt of the hit as opposed to the prop. I'm not saying that they're amazing, strong motors, but they'll hold up relatively well in a crash. So as we take a look at the flight footage, I am going to go quiet for a little while, just so you can take in how the quad flies, responds. The first test flight, I think, lasted nearly 5 minutes on a 5-inch with a GoPro. Now, if I can just take a brief pause there to thank our members. We've got quite a few of them nowadays, so I'm going to have to grab my phone. So I want to give special thanks to Barry Morgan FPV, Only Drones, Mark Duplex, Dizzy Dean FPV, Han Solo, Not Here, and Phil Anderson. These have all joined for as little as $1.99 a month, and they all get the name shouted out in every video that's over 7 minutes long. Please do consider joining them on the members bench. It's only $1.99 a month. You will get access to behind the scenes photos, early video drops. So they actually dropped they actually watched the gorilla whooping video that I did last week on Friday, whereas I dropped it to everybody else on Saturday afternoon. Can't always promise that because manufacturers sometimes want to hold me to a schedule, but wherever I can, I will, and you get your name shouted out, and it's only $1.99 a month, so go join them. But if I haven't earned that from you yet, that's absolutely fine, but do please like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video so that YouTube will push it out to more people who are interested in it and help us grow even more. Thank you. Now I'm going to go quiet while we play the second flight, and then we'll have a quick chat towards the end as to whether I think it's worth buying them or not. So as always, when we get towards the end of these videos, we have to ask the question, should I buy it or should you buy it? And I think the simple answer is, if you can afford to spend $50 on a motor that you may then trash and have to get 1 or 2 replacements for, always buy the best that you can afford, is going to be the philosophy of a lot of people. But I am not a lot of people. I will always say, if I go for the bargain basement and it's good enough, and it works, then that frees me up cash to buy another drone, to buy another part, to do something else in the studio. So I'm always looking for a bargain. Ultimately, these look stunning. They are a great price. In the week flying them that I've had them for, I've had no problems with them. Like I say, I've crashed them once. I have to say it's a win. I have to say it's a recommendation. Shipping takes about a week. I'm struggling. I always try and put a negative or a bad point in the videos because I'm not here just to shill products for company. I'm not here just to say, use my affiliate link lots of the times. And I think in the last review of the last Meps motors, I didn't even put an affiliate link in there. Companies don't like that though. They prefer me to put an affiliate link in there to know how well I'm doing for them. But ultimately, I'm working for you guys. My job here is to tell you whether this is worth it or not, whether it's worth you spending your hard-earned money on or not. That's where my loyalty lies. Sure, it's great if you use my links and it lets the companies know, but you're under no obligation, and I don't want you to feel that you're under any obligation to do so. That being said, if you can point out to me some better motors at this price that fly as well as these, I'm quite happy to buy a set and test them. But I think for the price, when you consider the looks, the performance and the longevity in relatively low speed crashes, I think you're going to struggle to find anything better. So for me, yeah, I would recommend that you buy them. You've all been amazing. I've been Quads. Until next time, peace.